I need to do something substantial in order to get the attention of the clubs.
Why?
Because they're exclusive and fun, and they lead to a better life. People want to go on the internet and check out their friends, so why not build a website that offers that friends, pictures, profiles? I'm talking about taking the entire social experience of college and putting it online.
Every time I think about biographical dramas, I think about serious films, about serious characters that have a very, very serious screenplay. But then, in 2010, The Social Network came out, and at least for me, the perception of a kind of biopic changed pretty drastically. The Social Network is directed by David Fincher, who is among my favorite directors, with other movies like Zodiac, Seven, Fight Club, and Gone Girl. A man with such sheer talent and taste for dark thrillers would have to do something really different than his usual to direct a biographical drama on a revolutionary story about the Silicon Valley. While he did have a source material to take inspiration from, but when you watch the movie, you realize despite taking inspiration from a novel, the movie is a pretty original style of the director with his and his screenwriter's signature on it. The plot of the movie revolves around the graduating years of Mark Zuckerberg from Harvard, where after a certain event with his girlfriend, which Mark is not able to handle and wants to get over, he does something very spontaneous and then follows a chain of events that lead him to one day incorporating the social media giant that is Facebook. But this is not just a story about him forming the company and all that of a success. As you watch the movie, you realize this is actually not about Facebook or any social network, but around all the people who were involved in it and how did the making of a company affect everyone before its formation and afterwards. And since this is an archive video from the channel, meaning this is one of the movies that I am fond of, let us start by talking about the things that I love about this movie. Number one, the actors. Among the key roles, the movie has Jesse Eisenberg playing Mark Zuckerberg, Andrew Garfield as his best friend and co founder of Facebook, Justin Timberlake as Sean Parker, Armie Hammer playing the twin brothers Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, and Max Minghella is playing Divya Narendra as a friend of the Winklevoss brothers. Starting with the Winklevoss brothers played by Armie Hammer, I think as they quote, they are the gentlemen of Harvard, well behaved, people who follow protocols, and are liked by most people. And Armie Hammer brings the needed class to the tables. You are impressed by his appearance, by his mannerism, and the way he talks. The Winklevoss brothers are distinguishably the most classy characters involved in this drama. While Justin Timberlake, who plays Sean Parker, the founder of Napster, brings the required level of charisma and confidence. Sean Parker has the shade of Gatsby on his character, where he is rich theoretically, a popular name in the Silicon Valley, but then he is not the most genuine or authentic guy or someone you could completely trust. His equation is 360 degrees opposite with Mark and Eduardo, where Sean kind of believes in Mark and also admires him, while his equation with Eduardo only gets worse with time. Sean's character goes from being charismatic to being looking like an asshole, and this transition happens very gradually, and you almost start hating the guy. And Justin Timberlake plays all these shades pretty well. While talking about the best performances of this movie, I always think if the best performance is by Jesse Eisenberg playing Mark Zuckerberg, or is it by Andrew Garfield in the role of his friend Eduardo Severin. The two are shown as really good friends. However, it's only Eduardo who genuinely considers Mark as a good friend and is always there for him without actually getting anything in return. However, Mark is void of any such reciprocation for Eduardo, and it's certainly because, as a human being, Mark does not have any form of emotional aspect for any other person in his life, especially a positive emotion. And Jesse Eisenberg plays this nerdy, cold, eccentric, and condescending version of the character so damn well that despite being borderline asshole, you like him. He is no Tony Stark. He is rather someone you would hate if you met in real life. But there is something innocent that Eisenberg brings to his character that you forgive his flaws and accept him as a human and like him as someone who did things so he could build what he built. Andrew Garfield, on the other hand, could be the most likable character in this movie. He has all the ingredients of a friend, just perhaps not for an efficient co founder, which is what mainly makes his journey rough with Mark and others as the movie progresses. Andrew Garfield almost kills it with his acting in the scene where he gets back on Mark and Sean when the company lawyers tell him that most of his shares are diluted to introduce new shareholders in the company. This is also one of the strongest scenes before the movie's ending.
They're saying we stole the Facebook.
I know what it says.
So did we?
$1 million isn't cool. You know what's cool? $1 billion.
You're going to get left behind. It's moving faster than any of us ever imagined
Get
it
left
would.
behind.
Let's sue him in federal court.
I can't wait to stand over your shoulder and watch you write us a check.
If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
Coming to the background music, I think Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross have done something which is very refreshing and relatable with the situation shown in the movie. From the BGM in the opening credits when Erica dumps Mark and he's running back to his dorm, followed right after when he's creating Face Smash and blogging about his breakup with Erica. I also love intriguing possibilities this is played when Mark majorly starts working on building Facebook and Eduardo gets his punch from the Phoenix. Coming to the wizards of this movie, this has to be the duo of director David Fincher and screenwriter Aaron Sorkin. Together, they have been able to make easily the best film of 2010. That in each frame, each dialogue spoken, each pauses taken, in every beat is a product of this collaboration. There are so many scenes in this movie that I love, from the opening scene between Mark and Erica, the scene where Mark Eduardo and his girlfriend meet Sean Parker for the first time and are totally bowled over by him, to the scene at the club where Sean is assuring his belief on Mark that they are creating something really big, and Mark just asks him if he still remembers the girl who dumped him, post which Sean created Napster. And also to the scene where Eduardo realizes that he is not a part of the company after his shares have been diluted. All these scenes stay with you way longer after you have finished the movie, and I personally keep going back to watch them. Sometimes for the dialogues, sometimes for the background music, sometimes for the acting. And this is what happens when a rare, great collaboration happens between the director, screenwriter, editors, actors, musicians, and the rest of the technical team. The Social Network will always be one of my all time favorite movies and one of the strongest works by David Fincher and Hollywood. So, if you like the video, do press the like button and subscribe to watch more such content.
As for the charges, I believe I deserve some recognition from this board.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
I don't understand.
Which part?